Well, hello, folks. Good to have you today. Hope you're doing well. Me, I'm doing fine. Um, Beautiful day here today. A little windy, but that's good. Uh, Let me do this. Guess y'all been watching the Dolly, uh, the ship that caused the bridge collapse in Baltimore. They're getting a lot of debris moved off the bow of the ship, and things are looking good. I think they're talking about if they haven't already, letting the crew go off board and do a little relaxation from being on the ship the whole time and let them go to a motel or whatever, wherever they want to go through the city. And so that'd be good for them. Um, they're picking a lot of debris out of that harbor. They might get it done by the 1st of June, so it'll be completely open. They're really moving along on that. But of course, there's a lot of ships going in and out now. They've done a remarkable job, and that's the way it should be. Get in there and get it done. Been a while since I've been on. Well, I was on a little test run yesterday, but or day before, whichever it was. Uh, I was off for a while. Had some technical difficulties, mostly up here, but got them straightened out, and things are going pretty good now. Uh, haven't done a whole lot. I done a little cooking show last night and posted it. How to make a pecan pie, my version, and hope you all get to look at it, enjoy it, and if you like it, give me some likes and subscribe to the channel. That's one thing I wish everybody that watches it would do, but there ain't everybody gonna do that, and I know that. Everybody ain't gonna like me, and I don't expect them to. That's the way the world revolves. Some like you, some don't, and it's okay either way. Sorry about that. I haven't got a. I usually don't get much more than 3, 4 hours sleep a day at night. That's enough to do me, but it still makes me yawn because I do a lot of yawning. And I think as you get older, you do a lot of yawning. But that's the way life is, ain't it? Um, I'm hoping that maybe Rose from Australia get on tonight. I haven't talked to her in a while, and Drain the Swamp. I'm hoping he'll get them back on there. Uh, I sent him some messages or some material, and hope he got it. I don't know, and if he sent me anything back, I didn't get it, or at least I didn't see it. And I've been through all my emails, but uh, sometimes I get 2 or 3 thousand emails a day. Sometimes I don't know why, because the people don't even know me. They're not even on YouTube and stuff. It's just advertisements and stuff like that. But they got to make a dollar, so they advertise. I understand that, and that's okay. I see we got one person on there. Uh, Send me some chat if you can. We'll talk. It's hard to talk just one sided all the time. I like to have a little bit talk between us. If you can, get a couple more of your friends to come on. We'll talk. We can talk about the military. We can talk about hunting, fishing, politics. It don't make no difference. Hodgepodge. Um, I know a little bit about all of it, but I'm not an expert on any of it. I got my way of doing things, and it works for me. And that's the way it ought to be. Uh, if the person that's on there, if you get a kick or anything out of what we do, give us a like and subscribe. Please appreciate it. Be a good time to do that right now, because I know uh, I'm the best boy my daddy's got. And of course, he's been dead for several years, but I was still the best boy he had's the only one. But, you know, I was in the military for 32 years and 11 months, 12 of it in the Air Force, and then 20 uh, years and 11 months in the Army. And all the people was in the Air Force said uh, that the Air Force was easy compared to the Army. And I said, well, I don't know. I haven't been in the Army. I said, I might go try it. So when my uh, hitch was up for my 3 years or my 4 years, why, I got out and got in the Army and took basic training over again. And that's what they said was rough about the Army. The only thing different about it was we went just a one night march in the Air Force for a bivouac and stopped and ate out in the field and went back into the barracks next morning. In the Army, we went out for, I believe it was a week, best I remember, 3 days or four, I don't know, and walked about 20 miles in the process, which wasn't no big deal to me because I was in good shape, loved every minute of it. But see, we hope we got the same person there, Drain the Swamp 53. Hello, young man. Doggone it. I was wondering where you was at. Hadn't got to talk to you. Um, I'll tell you what, did you get the materials that I sent you? Oh, that's a shame. Um, did you tell me that uh, was to separate the black sands from the gold? Okay. Well, you know, I always just process my black sands. I keep them, I separate it from the gold. Various ways to do that, but probably the easiest way is it's not necessarily the safest, but it is with mercury. But you can do heat with a dry your black sands out completely and liberate a lot of it. But no matter how good you do it, Drain the Swamp, um, regardless, you want to keep all that black sand because once you get what gold that you can get out of it, if you're a really rich country, that black sand's still 10% gold on the average. And best thing to do is to get that then is get you a electric furnace, or you can make your own furnace with take probably a 8-inch pipe and put your fiber inside of it, and yeah, I understand. Well, did you have any trouble with your uh, vibrator uh, bouncing, getting too wild on you, or what was it? It didn't get wild enough, maybe. Yeah, well, you can always try something different. Um, you can get a ball mill and or a roller mill, either one. I've made both of them. Roller mill works good, and ball mill works good. I got you. And the the ball mill and the roller mill, they'll both get it down to flour. I mean, just it'll take every piece of black sand you got in there, and of course a lot of that black sand is metallic, but you can roll it down to it gets like almost a powder, and then you can uh, put if you want to use mercury, you can put mercury in there, and uh, you can take an I don't know how much black sand you got, but you can take about a ounce or less of mercury and do several pound of black sand, and just keep it wet, and it'll all go into all your gold will go into the mercury. But now the only problem with that, you're still going to have 10% of the gold in that black sand because how good, much the mercury takes out of it. And so the best way to do is get as much of the visible gold as you can and get you a smelter. You can get electric furnace or make your own furnace with a propane tank and build get you an 8-inch pipe and put your batten in it and uh, uh, put you something to set your crucible on, and you can smelt all in a large crucible and in a good smelter. You can smelt a batch in 20-25 minutes, and of course you got to kind of play around. Now I like to use borax and a little bit of lead oxide or just a piece of lead, which the lead is going to turn to lead oxide as it heats up. And when you get your amounts right, because the more you use, the more it's going to take of the borax and of the lead oxide. You can put a little bit of sulfur oxide in if you want to, but it's going to take uh, a few minutes, but you'll end up with all your gold in the bottom of your cone. You'll have to make your cone or buy you one to pour it into. But when you get that done, you melt it down, you pour it into a cone, and then you can break off, and you'll have uh, any impurity that is precious metal, silver or whatever, come off at the bottom of your cone, and then you can put it in to another crucible and put your uh, another piece of lead in it. You don't have to use no borax with this. You put it in a little. I ain't done it so long, bought none so long. I can't remember what that little white crucible is, but anyhow, if you watch the boy on MMMLIC or whatever it is, I can't keep it up right now. He mines precious metals and is smelting and stuff all the time. And he uses them little uh, crucibles I'm talking about. And I can't Patel, I think Patel. I might be wrong, but it's something like that. And uh, it'll take all that lead out as an oxide, and everything else will go down to a small bead of gold. And if you got any silver, uh, it might even separate the silver sometimes. Sometimes it don't, but you end up with your gold and your silver in a bead, and then there's a way to separate that too. But you don't have to be in no hurry about that because it ain't going nowhere. But that's probably the easiest way is actually smelting it because you can't get all that gold out of that black sand just by uh, busting it up or balling it down or rolling it down into flour gold. that black sand is still going to be 10% gold if you're in rich concentrates. Now, Michigan, all you black sand coming out of the Carp River or out of the copper country in the north, or any just about anywhere in the UP is going to be 10% black gold in your black sand after you think you're done with it. And it takes uh, yeah, that guy that you've seen, that guy that I'm talking about, does a lot of young boy. He's about 30 some, maybe 40. Everybody's young to me, but yeah, he's really good to watch. He can give you some ideas how to really work your material down, and that's the only way you can get it out 100%. And if you got 100 pounds of black sand, I don't mean you're not going to have 10 pounds of gold, but it's going to be 10% uh, 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 volume, but it won't weigh no 10 pounds. You can get down about oh, you'll probably get a close to an ounce bead, a half ounce bead out of 100 pounds. Well, that's worth a lot of money, and but it's fun, and it's safe, and it's efficient. But I hate to hear you ideal didn't work, but let me tell you something. I'm 80, almost 81 years old come October, and I've had more failures than I've had successes on stuff I've worked out. But every success, every failure that you have, you learn a little something and you do better. I made 4 shaker tables before I got one that I was satisfied with, and it really done the job. But it's expensive to make a good shaker table, and and they're heavy. You can't just move them around anywhere you want to go. But a good one. But I've made. I probably made maybe I said probably 4 or 5. Probably I probably made 7 or 8 before I really got the top notch job done. And the best way to make a shaker table is to get you the kind of plastic that they use to make molds for fireplace wood, synthetic fireplace wood, and they use a lot of oh, it's thick plastic. Darn, I go the wrong way when I want. It's about that thick. It's white, and you can mold. You can take uh, milling machines and that'll go on top of that, and you can get your lines cut out in just a very short while. And that's what really makes the difference. If you can get uh, a milling machine that'll go in there and cut those lines for you and stuff, it'll get 98% of your gold, or 95 to 98% of your flare gold out of your black sand. But then you're still going to have a little bit in that black sand. So never throw your black sand away. And you can always find somebody that'll go in that's got a furnace. Something furnace don't cost that much. Furnace is very efficient. You get electric one, um, all $200 to $300 to $400, and last you for years. You might have to change the wire in it once in a while, the burner coil, but it lasts you for years. And a homemade one will last you even longer than that. You just have to change the batten every once in a while. Go down to the hardware store and tell them what you're making, and they'll tell you. They'll say the kind of batten that goes in it, and uh, it's a concrete wool is what it is. I can't remember the name of it, but you can. I like electric best because it's just easier to take care of, and if you need to change your coil in it, why 30 minutes and you're done. And don't use that much electricity like you think it would, because actually I run mine on the sun. I've got see 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 or 5 uh, uh, more. And when I go talking about something, I forget even what I'm talking about. Them things that turn the sun into electricity, solar. I got 4 or 5 solar panels that when I want to do it, I just put them out there in the sun, let them charge up my battery, which is another word for another. It's another generator. Only it's sun. It charges the battery up, and then you can run there. Depending on where you get a 220 or a 440, but a 220 is plenty hot enough for a thermostat, and you can run it on solar, and it don't cost you nothing. I want, but I've had my panels for quite a few years, so they're big panels, and they'll run it efficiently because that's the only thing you got on it, and it'll put 220 watts out, or 240 easy. But what else is up? What else have you worked with? Oh, you just asked me about the Carp River. Let me read that. Um, well, and the Carp River, probably from just east of Marquette, where it runs into the Lake Superior. Probably I was all over it, up and down it, probably 20, 30 miles in that area. Uh, Back it run north of Ishpeming. Oh, that's no good when plumbing issues can be a lot of problem. Um, yeah, that Carp River, it's great trout fishing too, and but it uh, I guess I worked up and down it about 20 miles from Lake Superior up. Uh, I done more fishing in it than I did gold, but I did go down, and when I find a good solid place and get it dry enough to where I could get in there and be safe in doing it, I'd work some high bankers in there, but it's dangerous. It really is. Uh, and I don't even know if they put out a bulletin on that or not about warning people about it. Uh, a lot of people just had to find out the hard way. And the worst part about it, when you go down, you can't always get back out of the same hole because a lot of times it's a little swift underneath the ground, swifter than it is on top. And you can't get out of the same hole. You got to, if you can, if you're touching bottom, which is may or may not be the case, uh, you can punch your way back up through if you've got enough air to do it. But it's a dangerous situation, and you got to really know where you're going and have been there before to be safe because there's a lot of false bottoms in it. Now, I don't know if that ends anywhere up north more on it or not, but right there between uh, the lake and say up even about 25 miles where I've been on it, every whipstitch you come up to a place. And you got to have a rod, a metal rod's the best, or a fiberglass one. And when you punch through it, if you go down 4 or 5 feet and you don't hit a cavity, you're probably pretty safe. But if you go a foot and a half or 2 foot before you hit it and you hit a cavity, stay off of it because it won't hold you for very long. Uh, Designated trout stream. Well, I don't know if it's a designated trout stream or not. Um, I've caught trout out of it, but it may not be enough trout fishing in it to designate it. Because there's too many places up there that is designated. I don't know if the carp is or not. It wasn't at the time I was up there. I don't think. If it was, I might have broke the law a lot of times because I didn't. A lot of times I was on it and I didn't have a trout stamp or anything. And uh, I'm a thinking that most of your trout streams are the ones that's designated that are stocked uh, more than by the state. I'm not sure about that, but I never know of them stocking the Carp River, and I think that goes on more down in the southern part, below the UP in the main state part of the state. But the Carp River, it wasn't designated as a trout stream when I was up there, although there was trout in it, and I caught several out of it, brook trout and rainbows and browns. But I don't think it was designated. But have to look into that. Uh, I don't know if it. That was years ago. That was back in 70 when I got back from Vietnam. 70, 89, 70, 71, 72. And that was a long time ago. I just can't remember. I might be wrong about it being designated because if it was, I broke the law because I done a lot of high banking in there. And if it's designated, you probably can't do nothing but pan now. Uh, but I don't understand why they do that because trout love a good clean river or stream. And when you run a dredge or a high banker, you're actually cleaning the stream out because you'll take all the old trash, the old lead balls and stuff out of the stream where people's hunted for so many years. You'll catch mercury out of the stream, and it's a better stream where people uh, high bank and dredge. It leaves a better stream for trout than what you it was before you done that because it cleans the river out. You'll take most of the trash home and you concentrate, and that's proven by how much mercury you'll pick up. And up in Michigan, you pick up a lot of mercury out of the streams. I've been known to uh, all sometimes when I work up there for a week or two in the same spot. Only I'll make the spot bigger. But when I get done, if I've worked a week or two, I might have an ounce to an ounce and a half of mercury. And when you take that much out of a stream, you've cleaned it up. And of course, mercury don't really hurt the fish, but uh, it's somewhat contaminates the eggs of a fish, and then that hurts the baby fish. So I guess it hurts them either way you look at it, but you clean it up a lot when you can take it out of the stream that way, and you take all the other trash out too because it catches in your traps and the ripples and stuff. You get the nails, you get the lead, you get just little particles of tin foil, all kinds of stuff when you go dredging. Of course, if you never dredged any, you wouldn't understand that, but uh, it's a good way to find gold always dredging. I've dredged a many and many ounces and a many many hours. Of course, I learned how to hard rock mine when I was a teenager on it with Scrappy, but uh, me and him also built the dredge and dredge. What time we was hard rocking because we take a break from the hard rock, and he had some people he wanted me to meet around Cleveland, Georgia, and I went down there and I had two good friends down there that are right close to Cleveland, Georgia, and I was given permission to gold mine on their properties. Uh, whether Scrappy was with me or not. One of the men's name was Ab Helton. He was a miner for years. He not only gold mined, but he run a rock quarry right by his house almost. And and uh, the other gentleman, his property runs up next to the Loud Mine that the GPAA or LDMA owns down there, and uh, his property runs right up to the Loud Mine. And I used to mine it long before the Loud Mine or before the LDMA bought the Loud Mine. I was mining that country all along there, and got a lot of gold out there. And there's still a lot of gold in the property there at the Loud Mine. Uh, Good place to learn how to high bank and how to run a dredge. But I've got uh, I've got two or three high bankers here at the house, and a 3 inch and a five. I got a combination dredge that I can change from a from a 4 to a 3 or 3 to a 4. A lot of places you can't use a 4 inch, but you use a 3. And so I got one where I can just change my intake nozzle on my dredge and my plume and use it both ways. I don't know if that any help to you or not, but I get talking about that stuff and I just rattle on. Have you ever watched any of the LDMA uh, shows on television? But that just being able to take now that 1 ounce per year. Are you talking about statewide? That's all you can find because that not you. Uh, uh, that Drainage Swamp that uh, 1.5 ounce limit per year is or is that just in that creek or is that statewide? Because if that's statewide, it changed a whole lot since I was up there. Lord, we found that every day we went out. Statewide. Uh, and that's any kind of mining unless you're as far as recreational. It's just a state law for Michigan, huh? That's that's ridiculous. Anybody that made a law like that wasn't thinking of economy or welfare of the state because uh, as much gold as Michigan's got in it, and as many people as Michigan got that really like to prospect, if they was allowed to get more than that, they can boost the economy tremendously. Why? Georgia's economy is great, and one reason it is because of the gold that's still being mined there. Of course, there's only one actual gold mine that's working steady all the time. That's the let's see. Um, oh, let me think a minute. Got my mind there. When I go talk about something, my mind slips a second. Tammy and Bray and her husband Tony run the mine at Dahlonega, Georgia, and I can't right now. It's slipping me what it's called. Um, but anyhow, uh, they put more gold out a year than uh, probably the city of Dahlonega is worth. Um, well, even the state capitol, the dome in the state capitol in Georgia, uh, is gold plated. It's got gold, layered gold all over that capitol dome. It's a beautiful thing. Bubble. How do I keep myself from spending my money? I'm trying to save up money since I just got a job, and I seem to always want to buy things now that I can afford. Now that I can afford them, well, uh, only don't buy everything you see that you can afford. Just buy what you have to have. Um, that's the trouble with most people. They buy things that they don't really need. They think they need them, and once they get it, they use it two or three times, and they don't use it again. Unless you really have to have something, the best thing to do is think it over three or four times and sit down and talk to somebody about it and see if you really have to have it. And then if you do, then go out and buy it. And Drain the Swamp is right. Drain the Swamp is right. Uh, young people, they've had things to give to them by their parents for so long. The schools teach you how to keep a checkbook and they teach you how to count money, but they don't teach you how to make money and they don't teach you how to spend it. And that's what you got to learn for yourself. And I think they should have an economy class to do that, to teach you. And what do you think about that, Drain the Swamp? Is that right or wrong? Yeah, crypto's going. Yeah, you can do that. Of course, I don't think they're teaching anything about the crypto coins in school either. They don't even teach you about gold. Yeah, as long as you have to have credit, you're beholden to somebody, whoever you got credit to. Uh, 1964, I bought a 1964 Ford. Was the last car I ever bought and owed on. I paid every other car I want cash when I bought it. And the same way with houses. Of course, I bought most of my houses with gold, but uh, what kind of a bike you going to buy? If it's a motorbike or a motorcycle, uh, they'll eat your money up, keeping them shined up, morsed up, and the trips you go on. If you don't have a wreck and kill yourself, uh, you might get to where you can enjoy the bike. I had a BSA Triumph years ago. I'm thinking it was 1963. And I was in the service and I went home to get it. And I rode it all the way down to Montgomery, Alabama, and hadn't had no sleep or anything. And I was coming through across the Alabama River just before you get to Montgomery. I think it was the Alabama River. Anyhow, it was a river. And the guy behind me said that I just veered over and got in. They had the guardrail turned flat, come out off the ground flat, and went up the superstructure of the bridge. And the guy behind me said I went over. I fell asleep's what I done, and I hit that groove in the center of that guardrail and rode it up to where it got on the flat part of the bridge. And when I got up that flat part of the bridge, I came off the flat part, and then I come off my bike. The bike went into the Montgomery River, and I hit a pecan tree on the bank of the river and sifted down through that pecan and hit the ground, sand. And that guy come down there after he got his car parked. He ran down that abutment, that bank, and asked me if I was all right. And I said, I don't know. I just got here. But I was asleep. I didn't know what happened until when he woke up, I kind of, or hollered at me, and kind of woke me up. The phone didn't wake me up. I was dead asleep. And I looked over and he said, your bike's in the river there. You want me to help you get it out? And I looked over and I could see it. The Alabama River is not too deep in that area. And I could see it, the front tar bouncing up and down out of the water as it was floating down the river. And I said, no. I said, anybody fall asleep on a motorcycle ain't got no business on one. And of course, back then, I bought that motorcycle for about $1,250, brand spanking new. And I figured I didn't need it. And I never did get another one. But uh, yeah, I don't know about that. I never did ride a Harley with that. Now I like the Harley bikes. They make good bikes, but by the time you get done dressing them up, you've got a lot of money in them, and I don't think you ever get that much enjoyment out of one. Of course, you might. Everybody's different, but I'd say put my money in gold or houses uh, or land. Don't have to have houses on it, and cryptos. Uh, it just a lot of things you can put your money into: silver, gold, silver, cryptos, all good, and you can get it anytime you want it. But a lot of times it takes you a day or two to get it on some of it, and to get cash, and you might change your mind about buying something by then. But that's the way the economy works. They try to get you to liking things that you don't need, and I don't know of anybody that needs a motorcycle, but it's all what a person wants. And I don't need a boat, but I got one because I go fishing. And if you want to ride around the motorcycle, you have to have one, or you ain't gonna go. But Save the swamp is right, or drain the swamp's right. Bikes are dangerous. I had a nephew-in-law who got killed, and he had his helmet on and everything, and had his girlfriend on the back with him. And uh, a guy pulled out in front of him. He hit him head on. At just, I think he was running 25 mile or 30 mile an hour, well within the speed limit. But that car pulled out in front of him, and he hit it. And didn't even have time to hit his brakes, and it broke the young lady's arm and a leg, I believe, and broke my uh, nephew-in-law. Broke his neck instantly and killed him dead on the spot. That's a fact. There's always going to be a need for good body men, whether it be motorcycles or cars. Well, you don't have to buy a lot of gold at one time, Bubba. You can buy a little of it, uh, say 5 ounces at a time. Of course, that'd be $10,000 plus, but uh, it will make you more money because every time we go in a recession, it's going to go up several dollars per ounce, a lot of dollars per ounce every time you have a recession. Now, most of the gold I've ever found, when I found it, it wasn't worth but about anywhere from $62. Well, I think it started out at $57 the first ounce that I ever made, and I kept that $57 gold for 20 years before I got rid of it. But when I got rid of it, it was $1,200 gold, $1,200 a troy ounce, and I bought 11 houses with what I had. And uh, you can't get that kind of money making anywhere else. Now, if you want palladium, uh, tritium, stuff like that, you can do the same thing because that's worth more than gold is. But it's harder to get too. But yeah, I agree with you during the swamp. Well, the thing about it is you can't stay home all the time, Bubba. Uh, that's going to have to end sooner or later. And if you don't leave your parents, then your parents eventually is going to leave you. And it happens to all of us. And it's best to get away from home. If you're working on your own and your parents don't need you there to take care of them, it's best to get out on your own, and you'll learn to save or go broke a lot quicker. Well, stay there till you finish your schooling and then get out of the house. I left the house when I was 16, got my license when I was 14 because of a hardship. My stepmother was pretty sick all the time, and I had to take her to the doctor when my dad was working. As soon as I got 16, I had my own job, and I graduated when I was 16. And because I took my last 2 years, I took 4 courses. I didn't take no study halls or anything. I took all classes, and I got out early. course, you could do that back then. I don't know if you can still do that or not. But yeah, get out on your own and don't ever go back to your parents to borrow money. They need it worse than you do. That's the worst things can happen to a young man is to start making a habit of borrowing money from his parents. Don't do that, and uh, you'll be a lot better off. And don't worry about getting credit. I ain't had credit since 1959. Is the last credit I got. From that point on, I paid cash for my houses, for my cars, everything. Still doing it. And when I go to the bank, all I got to do is put my money in there. And when I go back to get it, they give it to me. No questions asked. Now, I'll tell you what's going to happen, though, Bubble. Uh, and it's already happening in Australia right now. These banks are going to go cashless. You ain't going to have nothing but digits. You'll be strictly digital banking, and you won't have no money. You can't go in and draw out $50 just because you want. Now you might be able to go to an ATM because I think they're going to keep the ATMs around for a while until this gets uh, all over Australia. And I'll guarantee you that the next people to do it, if it works good for Australia, be UK. And then after UK does it, and if it works good, it's going to be right here in the United States. In fact, the central banks of the United States, the big banks, are already talking about it. And you can take it for what it's worth, but they're talking about it right now. And at one time, I was on board of directors for a bank for a while, and they was even talking about back in that was 25, 30 years ago. That already had mentioned it and thought about it back in because credit cards was working so good. And uh, I don't know if you've heard about that or not, during the swamp, but that's a common thing here. Probably, I won't be around to see it probably because I don't think I'll live that old, but I might be. I don't know. My dad was 87 when he died, and I probably, if good Lord willing, I'll be around at that time maybe. But that's the thing that's going to come, and you can bank on it. Well, Bubble, uh, the best thing you can do is find you the what you got a passion about, whatever you really like to do in life that makes you happy. And if you can become good enough at that to do it as a job, you'll never have to go to work a day in your life. Uh, and of course, my passion was the military and gold prospecting. Done it ever since I was 18 years old. And as far as I'm concerned, when I was in the military, I don't think I ever really worked a hard day in my life in the military. I done a lot of fighting here and there, but that was neither here nor there. Uh, you didn't have time to uh, call it work or even worry about it. You just had to go do it and it was over with. You might be a little uptight, but you're not. You didn't have time to get tired most time, even though you was out of breath a lot of times. But if you like to weld or if you like mechanics uh, on vehicles or airplanes, stuff like that, if you love it, do it. There's going to be all kinds of need for mechanics, and they're going to be a big need for welders because, as you know, they're bringing a lot of the trades back where the instead of having stuff done made overseas, they're going to start making them here at home again, and they're going to need all kinds of welders. It don't make no difference if Heliarc or submerged or what. You got to be able to do it all, and you got to be certified. If you get certified, you can name your ticket and here in about 10 years. You can take that to the bank, Bubba. That Drain the Swamp just told you the right thing. And the same way with gold. The only problem with gold is it's so heavy to have to keep. I've got a 2,000 pound safe. When I had it full of gold, it was closer to 5,000. It wasn't going nowhere, and I eventually got it all out of my house and put it in land and stuff. And but I had to get it out of my house because I couldn't get insurance on my house because of the gold being in it. When they found out I had that gold, they canceled my insurance. And it don't seem like it was right, but they did it because it's looking for somebody to tear that house up trying to get that safe out. And it had tore it up to get it out because it was built into the floor in the basement. But I put it in the bank. And of course, the bank was doing all they wanted it, and so they didn't have no problem with me at all giving it to them because uh, most I had was already poured down into bullion, and it wasn't hard for them to store. Bubble, before you, I guess he's already gone. He's got a lot of learning to do during the swamp. But at least he's working. That's what more than a lot of young people still in school is doing. That's a good start, ain't it? Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? Have a young man on like that talking to us. Uh, are you 53, during the swamp? Is that your age? Yeah, he does. He does. Are you 53 years old? Is that where the 53 comes from, during the swamp? Okay, I kind of figured that's what it was. Uh, I was going to ask you a while ago if you got that material. Um, I didn't know it, but my grandson, I had to get him to fix it where he could send it to you, um, because he had set his computer up so I could go on line on it and do live stream. And my computer sitting over here on the floor, and I didn't know how to do it on his, so I had to get him to send it. And I don't think he sent the part that had about me and my family in it. He said that you didn't want to do that on YouTube. So I don't know why. uh, he's afraid that you was going to come down here and knock me off. Did you enjoy the little story about Scrappy? How I learned to gold mine? That Scrappy, I got a long winder. Now, I don't know what that means. What's a long winder? Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah, it's pretty long. You know, uh, that's been on the internet since whenever they started having the internet, and I got tired of. Used to. I had to mail that how to get your gold and separate the gold from the amalgam and mercury and stuff. People would order that stuff from me. Uh, I'd probably mail out. I had a little pamphlet made up with that information in it, and probably 6, 8 pages long, and typing on both pages. And it was a small pamphlet, about I think it was about 6 inches by 5 inches or 4 inches, something like that. But I'd mail that to them, and uh, I charge them about $4, I believe it was, to I'd get it to them and pay for my paper and stuff. And I done that for years, all the way back into oh, well, I didn't do it while I was in Vietnam. My wife done it then, but I done it for years. And when they come out that uh, internet, I got me a page on that internet, or what you call it, and I just let them go in there and get it free of charge. And I didn't have to. I wasn't making nothing off of it anyhow, but uh, it saved me a lot of work. I enjoy doing this YouTubing. Now, I'll be truthful with you. I don't. I'm on TikTok, and I don't like TikTok as well because there's a lot of vulgar talking and stuff on TikTok, and they'll people get on there and try to make you mad. Now, I've never had that on YouTube, but of course, I don't get mad at. I don't care what you say, but uh, I enjoy this YouTube. I really like it. Of course, I ain't getting no subscriptions signed up hardly. I've only got 58, but uh, I've only been doing it since January, and sometimes you'll go uh, several weeks without even getting one or two. And uh, I put on me um, I was making a pecan pie, uh, Kentucky, live in Kentucky. And I was making a pecan pie for a friend of mine last night, and I got ready to make it. And I said, shoot, I'm just going to do a video of this and post it on YouTube. And I made a video of that pecan pie, making a pecan pie. You might check that out and see how you think I done. Uh, the hardest part for me to do was I had to make it in 2 pints because I didn't want to keep my camera rolling all the time. It was in the oven, so I made 2 parts of it, and then had to have my grandson show me how to put them together. So you can check that out if you want to and see what you think. But I've had eight people look at it so far, and of course, I ain't got no subscribers off of it yet. But I guess little by little, what is it? 1,000 people you have to have before you can uh, start getting. I don't even know what they call it. Amateurized or something like that. I don't know nothing about it, but Yeah, I'm already making money, a little bit of money on TikTok, but not much. I tried to find yours, Drain the Swamp thing, but I guess the 53s, I didn't put that on there. And I put in Drain the Swamp, and everything it brought up was for uh, Trump was talking about draining the swamp the first time he run. And I got to look at all them again, though, but uh, that's all I could find. I didn't find you without putting that 53 on there, I guess. Yeah, we're the one state here that there ain't much gold in Kentucky. Of course, I know some places you can find it. Let's see, one, two, three places you can find a little bit. Oh, you don't have a channel? Okay. You just look at it. Well, that's a lot less work. uh, but I enjoy talking on. I enjoy going live more than anything, and uh, I'm hoping I can start getting subscribed and get up to. I'd like to what I'm really doing it for. Of course, I don't figure I'll be around long. As old as I am, I'll be around a while maybe, but get it started to where my grandson can take it over. My youngest one, he just graduated last week, and if I can get him started on it before he can make some money, well, he's going to be a he's going to school for X-ray technician, and where you know where you read the X-rays. He's doing it where he can take them and do X-rays, and then also read them. So I don't know what it's called, but I guess it's good field, pays good money. They've sure got a lot of mine. I know that. I never have heard from Rose again on YouTube. She's the lady I was telling you about down in Australia, and of course, I think she worked all night, and I called her. Of course, right now it's morning time over there, and I never got on here again, and her come on probably because she was tired. She just got off work that night. Oh, excuse me. More the older I get, the more I yawn. I don't know what does that. Have you ever done any gold prospecting at all during the swamp? I've got this just set on a 5 second delay. Uh, it probably takes your comment longer to get back to me than what mine does to get to you because uh, I couldn't go along with that 60 seconds when they said to uh, put down between one and 300, 3,000 or something. I don't know what it was. I just put 5 seconds. That's long enough delay. I know I ain't going to be saying nothing from that cut me off, but boy, on that TikTok now, they get a lot of vulgarity on that thing. Well, um, I don't know if you know where to look at it or not, or there's a lot of it, but uh, if you go anywhere in that area, because uh, the glaciers come right down uh, between uh, Lake Michigan and the one on the other side there by Detroit and stuff. I can't think of the name of that one, but the glaciers pushed them gravel bars right under it all the way down through there. And if you can find a low spot or a high spot, it's got them uh, those gravel drops. Uh, you can find a lot of gold in them. But if you can't find more than a half ounce of gold a year in Michigan, uh, you're going to have to move to find very much. Because what do they say about you bringing it in from other states? Well, because you got two states, Ohio and Indiana and Illinois below you there that got plenty of gold in them. All glacier gold. There's a there's a town called Clarksville, Ohio, named after my family that lived over in Ohio, and they got a gravel quarry over there. It's just loaded with gold, and I go down when I ain't got nothing to do. I go down to the Lowe's and I look to see where their sand's coming from. If it's coming from Michigan or Georgia or one of the northern states, I buy me 4 or 5 bags and come home and I process it. And I get, on average, about 20 to 30 grams of a sack full of sand and a lot of black sand. So there's all kinds of ways you can find gold. But you take the Chattahoochee River in Georgia is where most of the sand companies get their sand out of Georgia, and a few others, but Chattahoochee is the biggest one. And then you take the whole High River is full of gold. You can go down and where they got sand dredges used to run like down Maysville, Kentucky. They had sand dredge that pumped dredge right off the bottom of the river. And I go down there when I would be home from leave and get uh, maybe a half a pickup truckload full, come home, process it, and find gold right out where they was bringing it out of the river there at Maysville. And it's that way in every major river comes out of the northeast. See, the gold belt runs from Alabama straight up through Georgia. This is on an east, uh, uh, probably a 15-degree angle or a 45-degree angle. I don't know which it is exactly, but it runs right straight up through Georgia, straight up through Virginia, Washington, D.C., New York, uh, Connecticut, right on up to Nova Scotia and beyond. And uh, there's gold in every one of them states galore. And, the first gold rush was in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina, long before the 49ers ever started one out in California. And that's where the biggest amount of the gold has been found at for many years. Of course, I doubt if there's been over, well, I used to say 10% of the gold found that's in the earth. I still believe it's around 10 to 12%. That's all they ever brought out of the earth because uh, there's just not that much gold on above the ground that people brought out. But the one thing about it, if you prospect and you find gold, every time you do it, you're adding to the wealth of the nation because sooner or later you're going to spend the gold you find and it's going to add to the wealth. And of course, the main thing is keep it quiet or they'll get you for taxes. You know what I mean? But you don't have to pay them until you use it. Yeah, you get out there and the Bering Sea, and you can find a lot of gold dredging. A lot more than you can find. You can find a lot up in tundra, but me and Scrappy went up to Nome in was it 65, I believe it was, or 60. Just might have been a year before I went to Vietnam. Six might have been 66, uh, but it was in the summer months. But I'd say it's probably 65. And we built our own dredge and went up there and had uh, a big pontoon barge type apparatus that we rented from a company up there, and we bolted our dredge on it and everything, and we dredged for a month up there and found a lot of gold. And boy, it was cold. We didn't have as good a wetsuits back then as we got now, but we had a we built a dredge to have a baffle on it that heated the water, and it pumped that water through into our wetsuits, and that's the only thing that kept us from freezing to death. But that water stays around 30, uh, even in the summertime, it's around 36, 38 degrees. And if you don't have that heat going through that suit, why, then you have to have a thing on it that adjusts the water to what it'll be when you get to it, or it'll burn you up because them little motors get that water hot. But old prospector will find a way to do it if give him time to think about it a minute. Yeah, but there's plenty on the tundra. But have you ever went underwater and worked doing anything, scuba diving or anything? Um, you might would want uh, to learn that kind of stuff if you've got plenty of time at 53, unless you kick the bucket early. But you can take and uh, is that law for that half ounce the same in northern Michigan as it is in southern Michigan? Is that law the same in northern Michigan? Because it never was that way when I was up there. If it was, I was breaking the law like crazy and didn't know it because I found a lot of gold up there. I'd like to know when that become effect. Some governor thought he was doing something smart, I guess, or House representatives. But you might want to join GPAA and then go to the LDMA outings that they have, and the GPA is allowed to come to it. That's ridiculous, boy. But you can join the GPAA. It don't cost much. I can't remember what I never. I was a member of it in order to have a place to camp and stuff when I went down to Georgia and worked my mine down there. I had a mine down there for years, and I would camp on GPA LDMA property, and in fact, I'm still a member of it. But see, the I think probably the LDMA is a little pricey now, and it don't have near the benefits that it used to have. Um, the price went up staying overnight. Of course, it's still a lot cheaper than a motel, a whole lot cheaper. And they have outings twice a year, some of them once a year on some of them, and you can go to those outings and they will teach you how to prospect for gold. You can learn how to run equipment and learn how to look for it. If you go to the classes and stuff, or just talk to enough people, they don't care to tell you. But I used to do all the panning when they'd have an outing down to Loud. I'd do all the panning for the uh, let's see, from 1994 on, I believe it was, until about 2010. I'd done the panning for every outing they had from 94 on, maybe 95, but I think it was from 94 because the buzzer died in 93, I believe it was. And uh, we had the big fine. No, we had the big fine in 94, and I just helped do the panning in. And we found, I believe it was 168 ounces of gold in a day and a 3 day dig, I believe it was. Might have been a 5 day dig, but I think it's a 3 day dig because Friday, Saturday, and half a day Sunday's all we dug and worked. But now I might be a little off on that, but I think it was a 3 day dig because they didn't start the 5 day digs until after that. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that was a long time ago. That was 30 some years ago now. But you can only have a 1/2 inch, a 12 inch by 52 inch sluice, and you have to get a permit 2 months a year. Well, that's you can find that's a waste of time because you can find a lot more gold than that in that type of operation if you know where to look for it and set it up. That's oh, I'd call the LDMA and see what they could do about that because LDMA is the one that can change it for you. They'll go to. They know there's a lot of gold up there, and they can get a lot of customers, members from up there if they just go to up there and work with the officials up there in the state house because that's a stupidity plan. Uh, I'll guarantee you, if you had 1,000 to 2,000 somewhere in that neighborhood prospectors that knew what they was doing, that could find all and have all they want up there, then they'd raise the economy of Michigan a great deal just from taxes. You know, and what the people pay use the gold to buy. And a lot of people don't keep it; they sell it just as fast as they make it, and buy property and stuff like that. So that's a dumb law right there. Uh, Kentucky don't have any gold hardly to speak of. It's got enough for a person to go out, and it's worth doing it if you know where to go and don't spend all your time having to look. But there's 3 places here in gold. I can find gold every time I go. But uh, they don't have no law such that you can keep all you find in Kentucky, and they don't have much. So uh, that's just a ridiculous thing, boy. If I lived up there, I'd get the LDMA on that because they could get that law changed for you. They we used to be out in Idaho and Arizona and stuff. They had some ridiculous laws out there, and the LDMA's one changed them. Now you can go in California and you can go off the highway there that runs up and down the coastline there and the bridges that come off the Sierra Nevada mountains uh, deposit a lot of gravel underneath those bridges before it gets to the ocean when they have a flood and stuff. And I got a buddy out there that finds probably 200-300 ounces a year going out there and filling his pickup truck, taking 5 gallon buckets, and he puts the gravel in them. I think he uses a half-inch classifier, uh, and once he classified, he fills the bucket up, whatever he can lift with ease, and carry back to his truck because he can't drive his truck right down where it's at. He got to park it up on the road or service road somewhere, and he'll get whatever buckets fit in his pickup truck, and he'll take it home and he'll go through it in his backyard and gets 150, 200 ounces a year. Well, that's making him a good living, a darn good living. And that's all he does. And that just off the drainage off the Sierra Nevada mountains. And uh, in fact, he's got a, best I remember, he still got one of my old dredges out there. He don't ever use it because he just keeps it for me. I don't think he be any good now unless he's kept it in the drive where it couldn't uh, mess the motor up and stuff. Because, uh, but anyhow, he finds a lot of gold that way. I had a 6 inch dredge that I used when I was out in up around Santa Claus River and up in there that I used and found a lot of gold in California. Found gold in Idaho, dry washing in Arizona, gold all over the place. Well, drain the swamp, I burnt your ear up enough here, I guess. We haven't got no other body except that young man that talked to us. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to get out of here and go get me something to eat. I haven't, I don't even know what time it is. 6:40. It's been well, good 5 hours since I had my dinner. And I'm going to try to be getting on around 5 o'clock about every other day. And be good to talk with you at any time. I can rattle on about gold or hunting or fishing all day long, whichever you get me started on. Because mainly outside of my grandkids, I ain't got nobody to talk to. I'm a widower, and my kids they work, and my grandbabies. I mean, in fact, I'm taking my grandson and his fiance to Columbus next weekend. They start going for their masters and their doctorate degree. My grandson taking both his at the same time, and I don't know. Uh, my granddaughter to be is doing pharmacy, and of course she's going to be making money more than he is, quicker than he is, because he's going to be doing all research. But I don't know which one pays the most. Don't matter. They'll both combine it. But I'm going to let you go. Great talking to you. I'm glad you got that information. And but like I say, if you do get into it, when you do get out what you can out of the black sand, don't throw that black sand away. Keep it and find somebody that can teach you how to do it. Now, it's you can take that gold out, get all your gold out, and it's still got gold in it. Uh, and if you can do um, a crucible about 3 inches tall or even 4 inches, and fill it about half full of black sand, and then the rest of it with your borax and your a little bit of lead and a little bit of some other things you can use. And my mind goes because I don't do it every day anymore. My mind goes blank on me. It's where you get 80 years. You know, you see what you're coming up to. But uh, Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. You're not very far away from Columbus. No. But yeah, they're going to go up there, and they'll be going to school there probably next 4 to 6 years. And if you ever down this way and you want to go prospecting or something, or uh, uh, you want to get together, there ain't no sense getting together in Michigan because if you do a good day's prospecting, you can find an ounce of gold, a half ounce of gold in Michigan easy. But the thing about it is, what are you going to do if you rest of the year if you can't, and if you can't go to another state and bring it in? I don't know, but uh, I could at least, if we ever got a chance, I can't do much hard work anymore. I'm slow. I can do it, but I have to do it slow, and I got to sit down. I got spinal stenosis in my back, and it's 95% closed up on my spine, and I ain't got no feeling in my legs anymore. And I learned to walk on sticks, but thankful I got them because, but it makes me tired in my back all the time. And I don't feel no pain. I just feel tired all the time. But anyhow, um, we'll talk about more. Maybe we'll get together and I can teach you a little bit. And uh, I got all kinds of high bankers and stuff and equipment to carry them in. Got dredges. We can go dredging if you want to. I can teach you how to dredge. Uh, if you'd ever been under the water, it's a whole lot different under there. Things look unreal to you when you get there and you start seeing gold under the water. And one thing you know, it's when you see a piece of gold under the water or in hard rock mining, ain't two people ever seen it. That's you and the good Lord above. And anyhow, I'm going to let you go. Maybe I'll catch you another day or two right around the same time. And maybe we can talk about gold again, or we can talk about fishing or hunting. I always love to fish up in Michigan. But I'm going to close it out. And God bless you. He will if you let him. And we'll talk to you on the next one. Appreciate talking with you during the swamp. And I'll catch you later. Bye.